the Speaker, and also as the clerks of the House, we also had a few staff positions. So to present the tokens of appreciation to those who served in the staff positions, I would like to call on the member for Aruka Maloney, Ms. Alicia Hospitalis. The first staff position was that of Marshal of the Parliament. And this position was held by Celine Singh of Bishop Anstey High School in Port of Spain. Second was that of Deputy Marshal, and that was held by Rebecca Mullinghan of El Dorado East Secondary. One of our parliamentary attendants was Tarseo Kanhai of Diego Martin Central Secondary. Our second parliamentary attendant was Jeffoshel Caballo of Toco Secondary. Thank you very much, Ms. Hospitalis. We also have a very special token of appreciation. Now, you all know that one of the main things that happens in the Parliament chamber is we hold a lot of very lively debates, right? So we have a special prize for the best debater. And to give some remarks about the debate and the best debater is one of our judges. We had a panel of judges who was scrutinizing you all and so on, scrutinizing your debating techniques and so on. So I would like to bring on Independent Senator Dineshwa Mahabir to give some remarks about the best debater.
Thank you very much. First, let me say how indeed honored and pleased I am to have spent the day with all members of the Youth Parliament. So members of the Youth Parliament, I recognize your contribution all. My fellow MPs, members of staff of the Parliament, and members of the public gallery and the media. It is indeed always problematic to judge, because a debate is always very subjective. As a prelude, let me say that the subject under examination and scrutiny was a topical one, and that every single debater was able to bring to the national arena a level of depth and comprehension of the subject to be discussed. It is known in debating that one does not have to believe one's position. One simply has to articulate the position clearly. For the members of the opposition, it was important to demonstrate that the reintroduction of capital punishment, not capital, but I will come to that. The reintroduction of corporal punishment into the school system would in some way arrest the incidence of school violence. They had to prove that or convince the other side and the national community that this additional tool taken away from teaching staff in the past but reintroduced would in fact result in a significant and meaningful change in the incidence of school violence in the country. And hence, there is a need to change the law. And for members of the government, it was important to argue a case cogently that the high incidence of school violence has, of course, very little to do with the ability or inability of teachers to engage in this type of punishment. The government had to argue that the school system is equipped, as it is, with a number of mechanisms for discipline, of which this particular one may not, in fact, be the most important, and that there were other remedies already in place, and to change the law now, to reintroduce something, would, in fact, not be in the public interest. And so we got very good arguments on both sides, very clear arguments. We also got lines which could make it into the national headlines. One that caught me very interesting, which could make it into the headlines, is the best way to control a bully is to beat a bully. I can see it now. Beat the bullies. Headlines on the national. So that there was everything you would expect in a parliamentary chamber, save and except the cross-talk, which makes for a great deal of humor. The criteria used were as follows. Presentation, that is physical appearance of the debater, and how comfortable the debater appeared in terms of the body language and in terms of his ability to engage his audience. Accuracy, whether the information used is true and correct or well supported. The relevance was very important. One needed at all times to pull one's point and focus it to the subject at hand. Delivery, manner of speaking, really your debating style and skill. And then most important, diction, ability to clearly deliver, and the pronunciation of words. Those were the 5 criteria used. Each were graded out of 10 points. Our panel of judges were able to grade each of you. As I said, we were more evaluating than judging. Judging is when there is no subjective bias into the process. So if we could eliminate subjectivity as far as possible and focus on the 5 criteria, we were able to come up with the best debater. And so I will give way to the President of the Senate, who will announce the best debater as determined by the panel of judges. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Mahabir. And we call on the President of the Senate, Senator the Honorable Timothy Hamel-Smith, to make this presentation.
I suppose somebody will tell me who I am supposed to announce.
Yes.
Or do I just get... Can I overrule you?
No,
All right. So... No. Yes.
Okay.
All right. I'm doing the announcing. All right, very good.
Right. Okay. And the best debater coming out of the 11th National Youth Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago is... Can I have a drum roll, please? Khadija Manswell. Khadija was the Minister of National Diversity and Social Integration, member for Lopino, Bonnier West, and she received a total of 222 points. Thank you very much, Mr. Hamill-Smith. We are coming down to the end. I would like to call on the Deputy Speaker, Ms. Neela Khan, to say a few words before we wrap up today's proceedings.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremony. President of the Senate, youth parliamentarians, cabinet ministers, members of Parliament, members of the Executive Committee of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, which is known as the CPA, representatives of the Ministry of Education, teachers, students, parents, guardians, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure that I express my sincere appreciation and heartfelt gratitude to those of you who have made this occasion, the 11th National Youth Parliament, a successful one. Firstly, I must mention the coordinating team at the Parliament for the successful execution of yet another National Youth Parliament. To all of you at the helm, your hard work, commitment has indeed paid off. To Ms. Catherine Gabon, Mrs. Diana Mahabir Wyatt, and the team from the Student Support Services Division of the Ministry of Education, our heartfelt appreciation and sincere gratitude to you for your commitment and dedication in coaching our youth parliamentarians in the way and in many finer details, such as the dress code, as was mentioned earlier, the etiquette, their civility, their debating skills, the aspects of debate, and the references of the standing orders, and the many other relevant information given in making their presentation on the motion of combating violence in school a productive one in this Parliament today. Our profound appreciation and heartfelt gratitude as well to the Ministry of National Security, who every year transport students from every educational district throughout Trinidad and Tobago to this, the Youth Forum. And last but not least, to our teachers, our parents and guardians, I profoundly thank and congratulate you for the time and dedication, a selfless support that you have given to all the participants over the past few weeks. It is my message to you to continue to give that selfless support in the shaping and molding in the lives of our youths. In closing, I want to say thank you to all of you, but before I do so, I want to say it has been our pleasure listening to you today. I sat and I listened to you attentively, and all the speakers who would have come before me would have told you that you have done a marvelous job. And I really learned a thing or two from you guys. I really see you as the future of this nation. To all of you, our sincere appreciation and heartfelt gratitude. God bless.
Thank you very much, Ms. Khan, and to each and every one of you, once again, congratulations and thank you for participating in today's debate. Before we leave, I would like to ask if the Speaker, the Prime Minister, the Leader of the House, the Opposition Leader, and the Opposition Chief Whip, and the Clerk of the House as well, if they could stay back for a few minutes to do some short interviews, please. Okay? All right. Thank you very much, everyone. You all have a function in your honor at Napa with His Excellency, the President, at 4:30. Thank you.